Hello, and welcome to another flight review. If you're new here, my name is Jet, and today I'm flying with STARLUX Airlines in business class on board an A330neo from Taipei to Singapore. I just flew in from Seattle on EVA, so I'm only transferring here in Taipei. I arrived at Terminal 2, so I just need to take a train over to Terminal 1. There's great transfer signage, but nonetheless it still probably took around 15 minutes total to get from Terminal 2 to Terminal 1. Once I got over to Terminal 1, I was following signage for Transfer Area B, which you'll see here in a few. However, there was no staff available to help with transfer passengers, but there was a STARLUX sign and phone number to call if you did need some extra help. To enter Terminal 1, I did need to clear transfer security, but there was no line, so it went very quick. Terminal 1 wasn't really awake yet, so I decided to head straight to the STARLUX Galactic Lounge and check it out. And since I'm kind of coming in backwards as a transfer passenger, there was a bit of a walk from the transfer security area to the lounge. But if you're starting your journey here in Taipei, the lounge is located upstairs after immigration just past duty free. There are several other lounges up here too, including China Airlines and Cathay Pacific, but none of which seem to be open. And here we are at the STARLUX Galactic Lounge. Two friendly staff checked my boarding pass and welcomed me in, one of which walked me to a seat of my choice and provided me with an a la carte menu. As you'll see, the lounge is a bit on the smaller side, but still has a good amount of seating. It by no means got full while I was here, but certainly comes off very cozy with very intimate lighting. One thing to note is there are no restrooms or showers here in the lounge, so you do have to exit and go down the hall if you need to use the toilet. And here's the a la carte menu I mentioned earlier, so feel free to pause here and take a closer look if you'd like. In addition to the made-to-order food, the lounge also features a serve-yourself buffet with some hot and cold food options. There's also a great selection of bread, dim sum, sweets, and even gelato. There's of course coffee and tea available and a very well-stocked fridge full of juice, soda, and water. After spending an hour or so in the lounge, it was time for me to head to my gate. STARLUX has a space theme going on, and as you can see in front of me, the employee pushing the wheelchair is wearing a spacesuit. It's definitely fun, but I'm also interested to see how far they can keep pushing this. And here we are at my gate for today, B4. Similar to Narita, the seating and boarding area is down a flight of stairs. There is a restroom down here along with a water bottle fill station, which is nice. And here's today's aircraft, a relatively new one-year-old A330neo with registration B58302. I'm interested to know what you guys think about STARLUX's livery. Is it too gimmicky? Let me know in the comments down below. Boarding started just a few minutes late and business class was first to go. I got a very warm welcome on board by 2 friendly flight attendants, and Carol escorted me to my seat. There's Carol, and here's me deciding to film my feet. The business class cabin is arranged in a comfortable 1-to-1 configuration. I'm in seat 7A today, which is closer to the window. Something to note is that the cabin is not symmetrical onboard STARLUX, meaning odd-numbered seats are closer to the window on the left side of the plane, but closer to the aisle on the right side. This is just something to keep in mind when selecting your seats, as seats closer to the window are definitely more private. The seat features a fully adjustable headrest, and waiting at my seat was a large fluffy pillow and a blanket. Once I was seated, I was offered a welcome juice and a warm towel, which was a really nice touch. I get sweaty too easily. There ended up only being 2 other people up front with me today, and it wasn't full in the back either. So with that, boarding was super quick, and we soon pushed back for our 3-hour and 57-minute flight to Singapore. Once we were up, I took a closer look at the rest of the seat. It features a large and extremely sturdy tray table that slides forwards and backwards. Under the IFE, you'll find your footwell with a shoe cubby underneath that. Down here, you'll also find your literature pocket, and up here, you'll find your coat hook. To your right, you'll find a remote for the IFE along with a wireless charging surface, a universal power outlet, and some USB plugs. Near your thigh, you'll find the seat controls, and behind this door, you'll find a storage nook featuring a pair of noise-canceling headphones, a water bottle, and a mirror. There's also this nice extra detail with these die-cut stars that really do add to the ambiance. And of course, there's also a reading light if you need it, it's just sort of behind your head. Overall, this is a great seat that feels very sturdy and very high quality. Menus were provided for today's flight and were waiting in each literature pocket. STARLUX, however, allows you to pre-order meals in all classes, which I took advantage of. I pre-ordered the Contemporary Asian meal, which was crafted in partnership with a Taipei local Michelin star-rated restaurant named Longtail. The main for my Contemporary Asian meal was an abalone and seafood millet congee served with dried spicy shrimp and some youtiao, along with a green bamboo salad and a cocktail named Night Market. Metal cutlery and chopsticks were of course provided as well. Overall, I was really happy with the main. It was fresh, filling, and delicious. The ingredients all seemed very high quality and very fresh, and there was a good amount of seafood pieces in my congee. It was certainly unique, at least to me, and I always appreciate when an airline tries to incorporate their local culture into their onboard service and offerings. Dessert came promptly after, which was some fresh fruit and an IU jelly with passion fruit and chocolate. I also got a coffee with some cream, which came with a little chocolate. The IU jelly was very light and very refreshing. I love Jell-O, but if you don't texturally like Jell-O, then you probably wouldn't like this. I also really appreciate the uniqueness of this dessert and that it's not just an easy and simple piece of cake. This was definitely fun to eat, and that added to my overall experience on board. Also, STARLUX has boba on some of their flights, which very well may have been the highlight of this entire meal for me. It was good boba too, it wasn't too hard or too soft, it was honestly perfect. Needless to say, I was impressed. Lunch wrapped up with a warm towel and the window shades were closed to allow all three of us to sleep if we wanted. I did not sleep and instead checked out the IFE. Overall, the selection was sufficient. It had just as much as EVA or JAL, so I'd say you'd be well entertained on any STARLUX flight. The IFE also allows you to connect your own headphones via Bluetooth, which I love. I'd also like to mention that this screen was actually HQ, and even the movies were HQ and not blurry at all. This might be silly, but it certainly impressed me because even on other new airplanes, sometimes the screens aren't actually HQ. Unfortunately, not before long, we started our descent into Singapore Changi. The crew came around one last time to thank passengers and offered these cute branded little probiotic gummies. And And as we descend, it's time for some final thoughts. This flight was very quick, and honestly, I didn't want it to end. The service I experienced on STARLUX was exceptional, and Carol was so extremely sweet. She addressed me by name each time we talked, and she showed genuine care and interest in her job. That being said, I know there were only 3 of us up front today, so I'd love to see if service would be affected if it were full. But something tells me it wouldn't change too much given that all the crew I interacted with seemed to genuinely love their job. The food on today's flight was 10 out of 10 for me and definitely more than sufficient for this quick flight. I think STARLUX's care for passengers really shows through their onboard offerings. The options and offerings on board really add to the overall experience, like the boba. It's unexpected but more than welcome and shows an interest in enhancing the passenger journey. In my opinion, STARLUX has a great hard and soft product and a beautiful cabin on their A330neos. The interior looks even better on their A350s, so they definitely know what they're doing. I didn't put my seat in its lie-flat position on this flight, but this was the longest flight the Neos flew on at the time of filming, and the seat was more than comfortable as is. Overall, I think STARLUX has a lot of potential at being great, and I hope they can keep their momentum going. The lounge is a great start, but I definitely would like to see how it grows or expands, especially if STARLUX increases frequencies or adds more long-haul destinations. As I mentioned earlier, my onboard experience and service with STARLUX was exceptional, and compared to a business-class China Airlines flight I took from Vancouver to Taipei, the amount of onboard offerings is just night and day. Don't get me wrong, I received amazing service on China Airlines too, but it just didn't seem as thoughtful overall. To sum everything up, STARLUX has a lot going for them, and I really hope they can keep it going. The crew was amazing on my flight, as was the experience overall. The attention to the entire passenger experience was refreshing, and I wish it was something more airlines would pay attention to.
Hello everyone, we have landed at Singapore Changi Airport. For your safety, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign has been turned off. For now on, you may use the transmitting functions of your cell phones. We will remind you, please take care when opening the overhead compartment to avoid items falling out. And make sure to take all of your belongings with you when you disembark. Thank you for flying with STARLUX Airlines. It has been our pleasure serving you today. We hope to see you again soon. Thank you. Quý vị đang đi cao đến Singapore Changi機票，為咗啲安全，啲安全都係點可以被貼士意見，請您繼續留到這位。
Thank you so much for watching another one of my flight reviews, and let me know what you think about STARLUX in the comments down below. I flew back to Taipei in economy with STARLUX, and we'll have that video up soon just to see how service compares. But spoiler alert, there was no boba in economy. I also have quite the backlog of videos to edit for my channel, so do make sure you're subscribed to get a notification when I post a new video. Again, thanks so much, and I'll see you all soon.